board games are pretty great, and I think I tend to spend a lot of time playing them, sometimes listening to media or watching videos about them. It's a way for me to connect and hang out with friends. I spend my money on them, not all of my money, but I spend some of my money on it. And to talk about the sort of gaming as a lifestyle, or board gaming as a lifestyle, I got a friend of the show, Mike Down. Mike, when I sort of introduced this topic to you, did it sort of hit any...
Yes.
Yep.
It hit all the things.
Yep.
Board gaming, as soon as I sort of discovered it as a hobby and what it does these days, I instantly was connected. And I'm like, I just need more of this. And for 5 years now, it hasn't slowed down. I just want to sort of slot board gaming into conversations and interactions. And it's just, it's a part of my life now, 100%.
Because, I find... I've got groups of friends, and there's some friends who occasionally will play board games, and the friendship is around other stuff. But I've also got friends where the main way we're connecting is by playing games and hanging out.
A friend of mine told me a phrase recently, Gavin, and it sort of stuck with me. I want to share it with you. He said, what did he say? He said, you make a lot of friends out of board games get you a lot of friends, but you don't make board gamers out of your friends. Like your sort of friend groups that you interact with, that you grew up with. I sort of found, unfortunately, I spend less time with them these days because that board gaming need that I have now, I get fulfilled with my friends that I met through board gaming. And not that I care about those people any less now, but even if I want to catch up with these people that aren't board gamers, I want to try to make board gamers out of them because that's my preferred way to hang out these days. Yeah.
I get that, and I sort of see where that's coming from, but it is a case of going... There is people who just still see board games as like, oh, I don't really want to play Monopoly. It's like, yeah, me neither.
No, I will never play Monopoly.
And it is one of those things where, like, there's plenty of times where I'm like, for a lot of people, it's just something that they're not that keen on, and that's fine. But yeah, I do tend to, like yourself, being like, well, I've got a Saturday coming up. I'll see if I can get a group together to play some board games. Mm-hmm. And so I tend to find my sort of social calendar, as much as I have a social calendar, starts becoming, oh, that day off is booked with a board game group. Okay, I guess maybe I'll see, if I'm going for like a hike with someone, it's, well, find another day off then.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So obviously, we've got that as a social connection with people, and yeah, there are a lot of groups. Because you run a board gaming group as well.
I do.
So how have you found that become part of your life, having that structured gaming sessions in there?
I love it. It's hard when I miss it. If I travel or if I have something else come up that makes me miss it, I really am not happy about it. I feel compelled to be there.
It's tonight, isn't it?
It's not tonight. It's
okay.
not tonight. I alternate my week, so it's actually not tonight. But I really do miss it if I'm not there because I really like welcoming people to the group because, especially in a board game group, culture is very important. And I think board games, we attract people from lots of different backgrounds and personalities. So sometimes I think it's important to have someone there to make a first experience with someone matter. Because a first experience that isn't good at a board game group, people think that's the culture there and they might not want to come back. So I think it's very important.
Again, this is an expansion box, but for a lot of people, this is a terrible game to start off with if you don't play many board games. Mm-hmm. So there is an element of trying to pick what, sort of what you like. For some people, they love cutthroat war games or economic games with auctions, or maybe they just like picking up little things and balancing them, or they like small games, and there's a whole different range of how you can interact with board games.
I really, really enjoy meeting someone that doesn't play board games and trying to pick the perfect game for them. I find a lot of joy in that and a fun challenge. I actually ran an event at my work recently, one of the Are You OK days. I actually ran a small one within my workplace. And where we ran it was in an op center where a lot of tradies were coming in. And I'm like, there's a lot of games I don't think they're gonna like, but what would they like? Okay, well I pulled out, I've got a little Japanese game, the Rumatsume, which is about pushing your luck and kind of gambling. And I could see a bunch of those kind of blokes getting a bit of kick out of gambling with each other and egging each other to sort of bust. And then I pulled out Pitch Car, a game that is a racetrack where you flicker cars around a little track. So trying to find what you think would fit people, I think is a really fun experience for me. And it's really rewarding when you see it sort of kick off and work.
Well, because also, yes, you've got that challenge for yourself, but what you're essentially doing is you are sharing something you love with others.
Absolutely.
Which I think is a powerful thing regardless of your hobby. So that's really nice to hear that you've found ways to do that, and also in the same time be incredibly welcoming to people, which is really cool. We talked about playing games and sort of that social connection there. Do you find yourself that obviously you've got a T-shirt on that's board gaming, you've got a tattoo that's board gaming. Do you find that there's a lot of elements of your life that are, the board games become a really big part of it?
It does. And sometimes I stop and think back, like, is this weird? Like, if I want to design, if I'm looking for a lanyard, I'm like, ooh, is there a Meeple lanyard somewhere? Because I just want, you sort of hope for that moment that someone goes, is that a Meeple on your arm or is that a Meeple on your lanyard? Like, oh, you play board games. Like, you sort of want to have that little thing out there, that little flag, like, I'm a gamer and talk to me about board games if we can. I think that's what it comes down to. But yeah, it definitely takes up, like you said, I start to watch a lot of that sort of media, or I'm reading articles. There's nothing else that I do that about, really. If I'm jumping on YouTube, 9 out of 10 times, it's to watch a review of a board game or how to play. Like, that's just encompassed most of my life these days in my spare time. And if I'm doing a social activity that doesn't include board games, I'll probably have my little board game bags in the car just in case.
Yeah.
I've bought board games just in case. We don't have to play them, but they're there just in case we can. So there's always that searching for that next opportunity to get a game in.
Yeah, I guess your shirt is quite relevant here.
It is.
Things I do in my spare time: play board games, talk about board games, buy board games, research board games, collect board games, which we've talked about as well.
Record board game content.
Okay.
Yeah. Anything board games.
Yeah, I think that's a fair enough sort of summary. So we talked about welcoming people in there. Is there, because you've done content creation as well, is there things other elements of board games that you'd love to share with people?
Yeah, I think it's important, and I have to remind myself this sometimes, that as much as I love board games mean something else to different people. I think it's an interesting thing to think about. So I run a board game group, and sometimes I'm like, oh, that person doesn't come weekly. Is there something I need to change to encourage that person to come more often? Then I'm like, wait a second. Not everyone relaxes with board games. Board games are quite mentally tiring. Learning board games is really tiring for people. I relax playing board games, but a lot of people, the last thing they want to do after an 8-hour day of work is go and learn or play a new game, or their social battery might be drained. So I think it's important to start to learn what people look for in games as well, to not push your luck too much there. You've got friends who are parents that love board games, but they don't play heavy board games anymore because during an 1.5-hour board game, the child needs attention 5 times. And so they feel guilty having to leave the board game and take breaks and sort of disrupt it a little bit. So board gaming means something different to everyone.
Mike, thanks for coming down and chatting a little bit about the lifestyle. We haven't talked too much about buying games because we've talked about that before, and also just buy more / curate more, as you will.
Yep.
But thanks for talking about sort of different elements of having board games as sort of the primary hobby.
Yeah.
And sharing that love with people.
Thank you very much.